Today's recipe calls for some mushrooms. I'm going to show you how to make a mushroom cream sauce to toss in your favorite noodles. It's going to be really easy and extremely tasty. So with that said, let's get started. The first thing we need to do to make this delicious mushroom packed pasta is prep some veggies to help build a good base of flavor. Start with half of a medium-sized yellow onion. I'm using a half I found in the fridge box from a different recipe that I made. If you're not sure how to get to this step of half of an onion, check out any of my other videos. I'll explain how to do it. Anyways, when you have the half, start cutting the onion from side to side into small sections. Follow the curve of the onion when you cut the sections to make more of an even dice. Following the side cuts, give the veggie a quarter turn. Cut things from top towards the root into the same small sections. This will create a small dice. After that, we need to prep some garlic. Cut both ends off 6 to 7 garlic cloves. Once you cut each one, give them a light smash. Doing this will help peel that gosh dang paper skin off. Now that you have Naked vampire repellent, thinly slice each clove into chips. Watch your little fingies when doing this task, we kinda need them. Alright, on to the main ingredient of the recipe, which is 1 pound, 4 ounces, or 567 grams baby Bella mushrooms. We need to clean these little suckers up, wipe off any dirt that may be on them with a dry paper towel. You can also give them a quick rinse under cold water. Just immediately pat them dry after you rinse them. Also, cut off any mushroom stems that don't look appealing to you. Cleaning mushrooms is a pretty boring and time-consuming task. Now that you've fought to stay awake after doing that for so long, we need to cut the fungus now. It's really up to you on how you would like to cut them. I prefer them to be on the bigger side. This way they hold up a little better after they've been cooked. It gives them a more tender and meaty texture, which plays well with the pasta that tends to be a bit softer in texture. But do you, boo. Choose what you like best. With that said, I simply cut mine in half, then cut those halves in chunks from side to side. Depending on the size of the shroom, I would cut them into 3 to 4 medium-sized pieces. Repeat this until everything has been pieced up. On to the tasty component, known as Parmesan cheese. It's best to grate your own as always, but this stuff can be a bit pricey, so pre-shredded is a good alternative. If using the fresh stuff, you need to cut the Parmesan rind off first. It's the part that is a little harder in texture and also darker in color. Save the rind, you can use it to flavor soups or cream sauces. Back to the mission at hand, grate the cheese on the small side of the box grater. We're looking to collect 1/3 cup or 23 grams of this business. If you somehow accidentally grate too much, now you have a snack. Oops, oh well. Next, we need to measure out some liquids. Snag a couple liquid measuring devices. The first one we'll use to measure out 1 cup or 240 mils of heavy cream. Give it a quick shake before you pour it into the measuring container. Also, we want this to become room temp before we add it to the hot pan. It'll help lower the risk of it breaking when it's added to the hot surface of the cooking utensil. Following that, measure out half a cup or 118 mils of white cooking wine. If you're unable to use this stuff, chicken stock or veg stock would work. Mushroom stock would actually be the best, but you might have to make that from scratch, and we're already working on something here. Anyways, grab a large pot to cook the nudes in. Add as much H2O as needed to cook the pasta. Talking about the gluten, I'm using rigatoni noodles for this recipe, but use what you like. I recommend a small short noodle variety for this dish. It makes it easier to eat with those mushroom chunks. After the pot is full of water, make it hail a decent amount of coarse ground kosher salt. Adding the salt now is the only time the pasta itself will be able to be seasoned. Seasoning as you go builds flavor. Now that everything is prepped and ready, collect a large skillet or saute pan and take it all over to a heating element. Crank the heat on the pasta water to a medium-high level. As for the skillet burner, crank the heat to a medium level. We're trying to time things out just right. Allow the pan for the mushrooms to become ripping hot. Once there, add about 2 teaspoons of a high-heat oil or enough to coat the bottom. Dump the diced onion in. Immediately season it with coarse ground kosher salt.
Following that, give things a mixer to spread the salt about and to coat all the onion in the liquid fat. Sauté the veg for 5 to 6 minutes or until they become a light golden brown color. If things are cooking too fast, turn the heat down just a little bit. Once the onions have been cooked, add 2 tablespoons unsalted butter in. After the solid fat has been added, dump all the mushrooms in. Give those a few pinches of coarse ground kosher salt as well. Following that up with a quick mix as well. Sauté the shrooms for 10 to 15 minutes or until they've shrank by about half and have a darker brown color to them. They will release a lot of water, but don't worry, things will work out just fine. Now that the shroomies have cooked and almost all of the liquid they have leaked has evaporated, split the pan into 2, opening a spot in the middle. Toss the garlic into the pan. Sauté the garlic chips for 30 to 40 seconds or until the air becomes delicious smelling. After the garlic has been cooked, mix it into the mushrooms. Following that, pour in the cooking wine or the stock into the pan. This will deglaze the pan, meaning it'll bring up any fond or the small bits that are stuck on the bottom of the pan. Cook the wine by reducing it by about half. Do this by turning the heat down to a low medium. We do not want to cook too much off. Now that things are getting close to being done, pop a lid atop of the pot of water. This will trap the heat and steam, making it come to a boil much faster. Alright, back to the mushroom pan. The next thing we need to do is dump in the heavy cream. Give things a mixer to combine all of it into one. Cook this over a low temp to slowly reduce the liquid, making it a nice thick creamy sauce. You may have to adjust the heat as needed if things are reducing too fast. After a couple of minutes, sprinkle in the cheese and give it a mix in. Now that the water is at a rolling boil, drop the pasta in. Take the lid off away from you so the steam doesn't burn you. After adding the nudes to the pot of water, immediately give it a stir. This step is imperative to do because the noodles will become rehydrated and want to stick together. So stirring it will break things up, preventing it from being a giant uni-noodle. Periodically give it a stir throughout the cooking process. Cook the gluten shapes for the perfect al dente texture that's recommended on the box. While those are cooking, you may have to take the sauce off the heat source to slow down the reducing process. After the buzzer rings, strain and drain the pasta. Before you do that though, save about 1 cup or 236 mils of pasta water. My sauce became a little too thick, so it's best to leave your sauce on the thinner side. Then after you add the pasta, you can cook it for a few minutes to help reduce it to become thicker. Okay, anyways, add the pasta to the mushroom sauce and give things a mix to completely coat the noodles in the creamy sauce. Add small bits of water as needed to thin the sauce out to help make it more creamy to coat the goods. Keep doing this until you're satisfied with how things look. Finally, add 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter to the sauté pan. Mix it in until it's completely melted in. Following that, add pasta water if needed. Give it a quick taste test and adjust the seasoning as needed with coarse ground kosher salt. Once things are good to go, pull the goods off the heat source. Finish it off with some more grated Parmesan cheese and some dried or fresh parsley. Serve this with some toasted garlic bread or a fresh Caesar salad. Whatever you decide to do, just enjoy.
Alright, now that our pasta is done with that mushroom cream sauce, let's give it the old taste-a-roo. So looking at it, came out looking extra delicious. It looks nice and creamy. The pasta looks like it's been cooked perfectly. That cheese on top makes it look even more tasty. The mushrooms look nice and juicy and just delicious looking. Overall, it looks really good, so let's give it a shot. Try to get a bite with some mushrooms and pasta. This came out so dang good. The first thing that hits your palate is that richness and fattiness from our butter and heavy cream. We get a bit of saltiness, nuttiness, and cheesiness from our Parmesan cheese in there. And we get a nice base of flavor from our onion garlic mixture. The acid from the white cooking wine helps cut through all that richness and fat as well. The mushrooms themselves bring a ton ton of flavor, which of course it should because it's a mushroom cream sauce. It's nice and perfect and mushroomy and has that good umami flavor. It's not overpowering by any means. It's just really dang good. We get a bit of spiciness as well from those red pepper flakes that we tossed in last minute on top for garnish. Texture-wise, the noodles are cooked perfectly and the mushrooms are nice and tender and juicy. Overall, it's just really dang good. This recipe is simple to knock out, and you can make it any which way you want. Maybe get rid of the onion because that's not your thing, and then add a ton more garlic because that's your jam, or get real bougie with it and add some protein like steak, which sounds super tasty. So hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'm real hungry, so I'm gonna go eat, and we'll see you on the next one. The old tasteroo. So looking at it, no. Yeah, that's right. This came out so dang good. Whoa. We get some nuttiness, saltiness, and cheesiness from our parmesan. Parmesan-y. That from the heavy cream and the butter as well. It's nice and scrumptious. Get rid of the rigatoni. Is it rigatoni? Yeah, it's rigatoni. Duh. Looking at it, came out looking super aesthetic. Super. Always with the supers. Done perfectly or cooked perfectly. Excuse me.